Hello everybody, it's me, Blaster Gold, and I'm here to give you guys another deck profile. This one is over my lunalights. I know I'm doing two Beast Warriors in a row. It's kind of weird. Anyway, this is going to be a bit of a faster deck profile because I'm hoping that eventually, at some point in the day, I'm going to be doing Battle of the Beast Warriors with one of my friends. So for now, I'm going to do lunalights. So, this deck does have a few techs because I can't afford a lot of the stuff that makes it good. And this is pre the new chick coming out. I don't even know her name. Yellow Chick. I think that's what her name was. But this is pre-Yellow Chick, because Yellow Chick is broken, and there would be no need for one of the cards in here. So, first things first is 3 Black Sheeps, because this is my Poly Searcher. This is one of the few fusion decks nowadays that still uses Poly, which I find is amazing, by the way. This is your Poly Searcher, and if it's used for fusion summoning, you get to add one of the lunalights that's not a Black Sheep back to your hand. So that's pretty cool. Plus it goes into a few XCs that I run, because I run rank 2s in this deck, because I realize how often they go into 2s. Speaking of rank 2s, this is your other, active 2, is White Rabbit. White Rabbit can bounce back row. Actually, I think if you just... it bounces back row to opponent's hand, and that can end up being pretty good. This card bounces back row for every Lunalight, and it will play a Lunalight from your grave. So it's actually pretty cool, because pretty much you summon her, you play your sheep, and then you bounce stuff, or you can play your fusions, and you can go into another fusion, which is pretty cool. Of course, it easily gets stopped by Solemn Strike and Warning, and ugh. Next are my 3s. I run 3 Lunalight Tiger. I do not run rank 3s in the deck because they only have 2 3s, and the 2 3s don't really work well together, especially considering one's a pendulum scale, and will also help you go into your fusions as in the pendulum scale. It lets you summon any Lunalight from your grave. There's a few cards that I'm thinking about putting in here. No, none of them are Tree Toad because, well, obvious. God, why am I telling you guys this? But anyway, there's a few cool 2s that I'm thinking about putting in here. Next are 2 Purple Butterfly. I forgot why I ran Purple Butterfly at 2, but she's pretty much just pitcher, and any Lunalight will gain 1,000 attack. And banish her from grave, and she will pretty much just summon any Lunalight from her hand. So, that's pretty cool. That's actually a really good effect, if you ask me. But that's just me. Next is the only 4 in the deck, because we don't have Crimson Fox yet. Blue Cat. Blue Cat's pretty much, she pops when she's dead, by any means, if she dies. Summon any Lunalight from deck, and she doesn't have to get sent to grave. This deck's actually pretty cool because it states that they don't have to get sent to grave. This is actually a similar effect to Tiger, but Tiger will summon from the graveyard rather than from deck. This one summons any card from deck, meaning you can summon a Blue Cat or a Tiger. And then if they're special summoned, the special summoning effect is once per turn. If it's summoned, if it's special summoned, you can target a Lunalight on your field and double its attack. So that actually makes your Big Beater, Leo, the 35, into a 7,000 that can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. Next, another 3 of is Wolf, because this is your Miracle Fusion. Fusion summon with the field and grave. And the other effect lets them do piercing damage, which isn't that extravagant unless you're fighting that rogue tier Super Heavy Samurai. You can actually take out one of these if you want, along with Tiger. But I run both of them at 3 because that's just who I am, how I function. What's sad is when Wolf is gone because it's the 6 and can't be pendulum summoned. Because Tiger's a scale 5. Which kind of sucks. I think Wolf might have been a misprint, but it might not have. They might have just done that because they could. Next are two one-ofs. First one is King of the Swamp. I know it's in terrible condition, but this is the only one I own. But King of the Swamp, you can pitch it, search poly, so it's like having a fourth copy of Sheep. But then again, Sheep's like having 4 copies of King. And then you can, after that, you can, this card will count as any specific fusion name, so meaning if you need to summon into Leo, you just use this, poly, and 2 lunalights, and you got Leo. Next is the Dark Creator, because most of this deck is Dark Monsters, which I love. Pretty much, if you have 5 or more Dark Monsters in your grave, you can special summon this card from your hand. So you get a 3K you got that 3K booty, which 5 cards in grave is not hard for this deck. Then you can banish and special, so this card actually goes into these a lot easily. Plus it's a level 8, so you can get into some rank 8 plays if you can get your Panther Dancer out. But I don't really do that very often, so. Next are the spell cards. Okay. The spell cards, most of these are 3-ofs. I think I have 2 1-ofs and 1 2-of, and 3 3-ofs. 3-of Perfume, because this is your Monster Reborn and Rhoda at the same time. Pretty much you activate it, you special 1, and as I said, getting cards in the grave is not hard for this deck. Then banish it and add any Lunalight from deck to hand. So this is Monster Reborn and Rhoda. So running at 3 is always a good thing. Next is 3 of Poly, because this is a fusion deck that uses Poly. I am thinking about putting in a fusion substitute, but then I thought against it. I'm also going to try to get my hands on a Starving Venom, but I can't afford it right now, which is kind of why I'm selling some of the decks. This deck is not for sale because Yellow Chick's about to come out, and I can't wait. Next is Fusion Tags. This is going out for Yellow Chick. Replace these 2 and 1 Wolf for Yellow Chick, because Yellow Chick is just boss. This thing literally, Yellow Chick literally does the exact same thing this does, only you don't have to, you only have to send it to grave, which is actually a better thing. Pretty much this card will allow any monster to substitute its name for a fusion monster in extra deck, which I find is pretty cool. I only have one of these at the moment. I'm thinking about, I need to get another one, but Fire Formation Tenki. Yeah, boo all you want. Anyway, this card will search pretty much the entire deck. You activate this, you search out any card in the deck. Like my Yosenju's, it's the whole deck. It's pretty much the whole deck. Next is the 1 Dark Hole, because this deck only has 1 Dark Hole. So, because I could only spare 1 for the deck. And for the last of my spells, I have the only deck that does this for me, triple MST. I can take out 1 for Tenki, which I will be doing at some point as soon as I can get my hands on a Tenki. Oh, jeez. As soon as I can get my hands on Tenki, I'm going to be putting that out for another Tenki. Next are my traps. I run 2 Reincarnation Dance. This card adds 2 Lunalight cards from your deck to your hand. Monsters from your deck to your hand when a card I control is destroyed. No, when a monster is destroyed by any means. Next is my 1-time Space Trap Hole, because summoning from the extra deck is still a thing, but that 1,000 life is kind of a killer for this deck. This deck does not have enough life points to do a lot of stuff. Well, this deck kind of does have... this deck has a decent number of life points to do a lot of stuff. Okay, next is Mirror Force. I only run the 1-of. I used to have Storming, but I don't know what happened to it. So I think I put in some shit cards for it. Anyway, it's freaking Mirror Force. There's no other explanation needed. I'm going to be replacing this for Grand, but I run Black Horn of Heaven. I need to get this replaced with Grand Horn of Heaven or Solemn Warning or Solemn Strike, because I don't run any of those right now because I don't have any to get rid of out of any of the decks. All of the ones I have are currently being used, which does suck. Next is Dark Bribe, because negation is a good thing. I don't care if you have your card. Next is Call of the Haunted. Because Grave's going to be filled up a lot. So getting those cards back is not a bad thing. Alright. Next is the extra deck. I run 3 of Cat Dancer, because Cat Dancer is, like, the boss. Like, not the boss, but she can't be destroyed in battle, and she also attacks everything twice a piece and makes them indestructible by battle. And then burns them for 100 damage every time. You would not believe how many times I've won from that 100 damage. It is ridiculous. Next is 2 Panther Dancers. I only run 2 right now because I only own 2. Along with that, running 3, you're not really going to see 3 very often. And when Chick comes out, running 3 Leos is actually easier than running 3 Panthers. I run 2 Leos because, again, this is pre-Chick, so I could usually, in the duel, I'll only have 1 out, but on the rare occasion that I have 2 out, this deck can get pretty boss. Can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and it's just boss. I love her. And she can attack twice, regardless of how many monsters you have. The others have to attack monsters to do their effects. Next is Tiger King. This is actually a really cool card, especially when Crimson Fox comes out. With Tiger King, pretty much everything your opponent has is negated, unless you're fighting Yosenjus or something like that. You're pretty much... Effect monsters have ruled the game for a very long time. This will shut them down. This is the floodgate in the deck. Along with that, when it's destroyed, it's pretty much just you get to recycle the materials. And it lets you search just any, like, the whole deck. This card lets you search the whole deck. Next are 3 level 2s, 3 rank 2s that I have. Sky Cavalry, which is like an unlimited version. It's like running 2 Grand Moles. It can't be destroyed in battle, and anytime an opponent battles it, that card bounces back to the opponent's hand, which is pretty badass if you ask me. Next is Shining Elf. I run this guy. He's going to be replaced by number 96 at some point, because 96 is, like, it's easier to summon in this deck, and also it's practically like running 3 copies of Dark Rebellion without actually having 3 copies. So it's pretty cool. It's only 100 attack, though. But this guy pretty much just drops the attack of any monster that's normal special summoned by 500. So... And it's stated monster or monsters, so that means if your opponent summons more than 1 at once, drop them all. And finally, I run this guy because this guy is Prohibition. Yeah, target a face-up card on the field. Neither player can activate... that card's effects are negated, and neither player can activate cards of that same name. Anyway, that's my Lunalight deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all later.
Bye.